Hi guys, for you that watched my tiger's eye slab yesterday, I said I'd be back just to show you how I make up a few things with it. So here we go. Alright, I want to stretch it that way rather than that way whenever possible, because I don't like the amount of arches in it. So I'll try and see what I can do to minimalise the damage. So I'm going to cut a slice about this big. I'll just start with the basic ones first. Okay, now my biggest cutter is that one there for this. I'm going to be making one with two cutters like this, one with just a small cutter like this and a heart cabochon, and I'm going to be making one of these pointed crystal things. I don't know if they've got a name. So I just want to stretch this out so it's big enough for the biggest. I don't want it straight anyway, so I'm not too bothered in that way, but I do want to stretch it just a little bit so that I know it will sit comfortably. Okay, a little bit more. I'll just turn it over and do it. Yes, I want to remove this horrible copper that looks like a it looks more like I can't think of the word, sort of a pink gold. There's a colour, isn't there? Never mind, I know what I mean, and I just want it out of the equation. Okay, so I want two of them like that, so let's hope this will roll. I'll put this through I'm going to put it through long ways on a number 2. Hopefully it'll be big enough. If not, I'll be cutting another. Yeah, that seems fine, doesn't it? What am I doing? I was about to burnish it with a wet one. Okay, so I've got some cling film here still with some bits left on it. So I shall cling film it. That'll do. So now I want to find my best areas and best angles, I think. It's going to be hanging that way, so being mindful of that. I think about there for that one, and I'll try and keep the same angle for the other one, so I'll just find the best area. Now I want a bit of something in there, so I'll go there. I don't want it just plain. Okay, so that's my two pieces there. Now I'm putting that to the side for the scrap that we'll be using in a minute. So I'm just going to get these put onto a tray, which I didn't have ready like I should have done. Daisy. There's 1, 2, and I'll be making a bigger backing piece for them in a minute. I'm actually wondering whether to make 2 lots. I'll see how much I've got left. And then I need to make some Cabochon earrings, so this would be a good time to utilise this actually, for the Cabochon beads we're going to be using on them. So when you don't look at my tray, it's disgusting, but that's all I got. When you're doing this, try and think about how it's going to look, or how you want it to look when it comes out. So for example, I'm thinking teardrop shape. I don't want them straight, I want them at an angle. I'll see if I can find another piece I can do that with. I'm trying to make sure there's none of that nasty coppery colour in. So, where are you gone? There. So I'm just going to be doing these two here. I'm sure you don't need showing how to do a mould, do you? And I'd probably do it wrong anyway, it's just the way I do it. I'll basically squash it in, roll it down, and then I'll slice it clean, but then I'll always leave it for a good half hour so that the clay gets a chance to cool down. And slice rather than pull, it seems to help. And then I'll just reset them and make sure they're even. And then I need to get a new one of these really. Right, so there's my two cabochons. You can see, not that clearly, but you can see the colour coming through. So I'll leave them for half an hour and then they'll join the other stuff to go in the oven. So that's that. Right, the next one I'm going to do, no, I'm going to do that last with the leftovers. That's for a back in, that's for a back in. No, I'm going to be doing that next then. I'm just wondering whether to do, yeah, I'm going to do a second, or am I might do some more off screen. I was only going to do another of exactly the same, this style pendant. So I can't think and talk at the same time. I hear myself when I watch it back. I'm like, come on, say it. But yeah, I seem to struggle with concentrating and talking. My hubby wouldn't agree, but hey. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this. So I'm going to take a couple of pieces. I'm going to take a piece off of there. I'm going to remove that blimmin' copper again, which was a nightmare. And then I need to start working it down. Now, I'm going to cut it in half and I'll probably use mostly all of this. Now looking down here, it's narrow at the bottom, firmer at the top. I've got something in there as well. Is that going to come out? Hang on a sec, because it's something black and nasty. And if I don't get it out, it's going to come out on the piece I put in. Well, it's not coming out, whatever it is. Oh, it is. It's coming up slowly, come on. Oh, now I've put a load of blooming cotton in there. Get a wet one a minute. Just give that a clear out best I can. Right. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is look and say, what do I want for the bottom? It's going to be one of these ends. It's going to be this one. I'm going to pinch the bottom in so that I know that when you're looking at the piece at the end, it's going to look like that rather than just whatever. And then I'm going to roll it. And I roll it to get it in, and then you have to sort of force it in. So this is the only way I know to do it. And the mistake I made yesterday, where I did one and I goofed there, is because I didn't use this. And I think that makes all the difference. Because what I'm doing is I'm forcing everything down. Lucky enough, it's keeping it in the banded pattern, so you haven't got to worry about that. If anything, it reinforces that banded pattern. So I'm just pushing all that down there as far as I can. Be mindful of shaping it and not doing what I did yesterday. I'm just looking, like you can sort of see through it, so you can get quite an idea of what's what. Now I need to put this in, so I'm going to put it in that way first. I'm going to roll it again. I don't know if I want that in. No, I'm going to cut this end off, and I'm going to put that end in first, or am I? They both look better on one side than the other. I'm going to put it in that way. Trouble is I don't know which is going to be my front, so I'm going to make a guess looking at the pattern here, and I'm going to guess it's that way. It looks the best through the plastic. So I'm just pushing that in now, and I'm still going to use this. After yesterday's goof, I know it's worth it. And just shove that in best I can. Right, hopefully this one's going to be a lot better than yesterday's. Just want to make sure I forced it all in as much as I need to. Okay, and the lovely thing about this, it can go straight in the oven. Now I'm going to push it that way once, because that just makes sure everything's gone down into that bottom bit. Okay, and roll it. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So that's going on the tray. I'm going to do another one with one of these sort of, I got this on AliExpress, but they're quite good for doing this sort of thing, and they're only pennies. I'm not going to use that scrap there, or that scrap there, that's going to be going towards the backing. So I'm going to cut off one more square like this, and that, and take away that blimmin' nasty pink looking copper. Rose gold, that's what it reminds me of, I couldn't think of it. Now I'm trying to look at the shape of this, that's thicker, that end goes narrower. Again, I want to give the end as best an impression as I can, and then I'll push that way, so as long as I know I've getting that in there, which is the nicest area to get in, I'm going to do it that way. So I'm pushing that down into that area first. I might have to top this up just like the other one, which is fine. In fact, I might even use some of this to top it up if I can find any that's straight enough. I'll do. Just make sure the lines are going in the right direction. Again, mould it in best you can, so you reach in all areas. Okay, so I'm happy with that too. So that gives me two different sort. I think you're limited in what you can do with tiger's eye to get it to look nice, because it can look, the stone itself is really beautiful, but it's hard to get matching things around to really set it off. So what do I want to do now? On camera, I'm going to do one more thing, which is going to be, if I can find it. I probably won't be able to find it now. I'm going to make one, what I call proper piece. So I'm going to have to cut quite a big piece of this and stretch it out both ways, because I'm doing my flavour of the month cross, but I want to do it a bit different. So I'm going to have to roll it out quite a bit to get it the right size. I might have to put a bit of backing on it yet. So that's the width. Might help to take that copper off at the bottom again. It's a lovely colour, but it's just not lovely in this at all. Of course, being copper, I thought, well, that'll be fine. And I'm sure it is lovely in other things, but not this. I think I'm going to roll this through on a 0 and see how it comes out, and find out then if I need backing or not. No, actually I'm going to do it on a number 2. Right, so it's big enough, but I do not want, I don't want it straight. So I definitely want it at some sort of an angle. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it on the board that it's going to cook on. I've learnt the hard way with this cross. It's absolutely gorgeous, but when you've got something this shape and the middle bit's not flimsy, but the thickness is on the outside, not in the core, so it really does, you've got to be careful with it, but it's so beautiful. I want that, I want those marks there, because that looks very natural. So I want those marks like that looks, you know, very organic, doesn't it? And very, excuse me. Excuse me, I felt that coming. Only thing, I've got a bit of peach going through it. Oh, peach. Horrible pinky copper. I don't know if I can avoid it. I do want that. Let's see if I can use as least of it as possible. No, it's got to go there. Right, I'm just going to have to let it be in there. There we go. There's that bit done. And I want to add something in the middle, if I can find it. Where are you? I've got a pattern thing I want to use. I don't know if that's... Yeah, I want to use this so that once I've embedded it, I can use the same bronze I got on the back there, just to put in there, just to give it a nice finish. This cutter's at high risk of being replaced. I'm waiting for this lovely cutter I found to come. I thought it'd come this morning, but it hadn't, so I was hoping to use it with these. Right, make sure that's straight. That's straight, that's straight. Are you straight? Oh dear. This is make or break, isn't it? Right, move you over a tiny weeny bit. There. There. I think that's about right, and I'll just push down. There you go. I've got that nice setting in the middle, which I can colour. So now all I've got to do is the backs. Now for the backing, you just need to give this a good old mix to get it like this. Hopefully this will be enough. And I've still got some left to make one or two more things. Can't say the same about the malachite I made. I've got a massive block. I could sit on it. Right, I'm going to do what I always do. I always roll it to number 4 or 5. I put my hand underneath flat like that, and then when you roll, you'll roll through like that, yeah, and then turn it sideways. I think it mixes loads quicker. I'm going to do, this is my second, third, and that's just by 4. I've nearly got it done. So I'll just do 1 or 2 more. But it's got it's captured lots of, I think using all the metallics, managed to capture a lovely bronze shade. So I'll just mix them together. And run it through a couple more times. Okay. And then I'm going to take that back to number 2. Actually 2 or 3. 2 for the necklace. Right. And what I'm going to do that I didn't do on the smaller pieces, which I will just do quickly now, just so they're done. I don't like the point on each end of this. I like the rounded edges. So I'm just going to turn that. We can take them off there. Same there. Don't know if you can see this on screen. I just need to do it. I'll do it on screen too with the other one. So I've got 4 rounded corners. Right, okay, so now I want to do the backing, and I'm going to just grab a texture sheet, because I'm doing one with lace, but I want to do one with a texture sheet too, so you can see the difference. Give me a second. got these. I'm going to use one of these for one of the backings. I'm just looking to see which is the best. I don't want it too busy because I want the tiger's eye to be the focus. I'm going to use that one. Oh, and I also want to make sure it's coming out, not going in. So saying that, no, I'm going to use that one because it does both embosses and debosses on the same pattern. So I want that one, don't I? Plenty big. So I'm just going to push it down and roll it. I find with this sheet I can do this. So that'll give me a nice, when I go to add the bronze mica to highlight it, it'll just hit the tops, which will be nice. And then I'm just going to do what I did on the earrings on the tray, just to round it off. Do that, and let's take those edges off. There you go, so that's one of the backs of the necklaces. And then the other one I'm going to do the way I did these because I do like it. Right, I used a thick lace for this, not a thin one, so I've got some thick lace here. So I'm just going to push that in so it stays still. And this one, lucky enough, I can butt them up to each other. I want a little gap though, I don't want them to meet. So I use my fingers to do that. Then I'll just roll that down. I love working with lace for things. I think it's got such a lovely look about it. Right, so now I want to find the best area because I'm thinking of the corners. Right, that's going to be pretty good for that's showing all four edges will have highlight on because all four corners are raised. That's what I'm looking for. It would be better if I use the cling film. So easy to forget, isn't it? Try and follow that pattern. Right, so that's that one. Turn it again like that. Okay, so that's that. Now, I don't know whether to be lazy and just use... Is that the one I used? Well, considering I can't find the cutter for the earrings, that's a good start, isn't it? That is. I don't know whether to be lazy and just do this. I think I will. I'm going to follow that pattern there because that pattern arches. And that's the earring backs. I have done them on a number 2 though. But I think that'll be fine because they've got a centrepiece rather than the whole thing being thick. Okay. So just thought, give me 2 seconds, let me get it all ready and I'll be back because I'm dilly-dallying. Okay, I'm back. So putting you watching me faffing around. Okay, so I've got some bronze mica powder here and I'm just going over the tops. You'll see the effect it has. It's lovely. It really brightens it up without, and hopefully it doesn't take over the sort of beauty of the colours of Tiger's Eye. It complements it more than anything. But I think this bronze is perfect for Tiger's Eye. Just trying to get in the little bits as well of the higher grooves. I could do this all day. It's lovely, isn't it? so that's that way. Some that way so I get it from all angles. I don't think this one's actually going to look as nice. But I just want to do a variety so everything doesn't have to be lace. Just because it's my flavour of the month. I'm like a dog at a bone with things. When I love it, till something new comes along, then it'll get discarded. Oh dear, I've just gone into the clay, but that's okay because I can remove that. Okay, so I'm just going to, if I can find it, get my little poker, and I'm just going to make the holes now so they're done. Okay, that one there, I wanted it up there. And then with this one here, put it about there. Okay, so, excuse me again. Okay, so they're all going to go into the oven with these bits. And I'll see you on the other side. I will be doing backs on them, but I'm going to be doing them separately. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. And don't forget these with the cabochons. Oh, what am I like? Hi guys, so the cabochons are out of the oven. These four here, so we just need to apply them to these. Okay, so you'll need some liquid clay. Now, I've got to decide which one I want where. I'm going to do this one here. I'm just going to apply some liquid clay to the back. Allow for the fact that there are a lot of grooves and the clay is going to go in, so make sure you put enough. And you've got to remember the heightened bits are actually covered in mica, so it's not going to attach as easily as it would if it was just clay. But I'll make sure I put enough in there. Now, which way do I want it? Babe. Oh god, I've got liquid clay all over the front now, hang on. So what I've got to do is get it into position. And when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to apply some pressure. And hopefully that's that. And then the second one exactly the same. Obviously there's quite a lot of dips in this one, so I'm going to allow for that as well as covering the back. And when I do it, which way am I going to want it? I think I'm going to want it that way. So I'm just applying the liquid clay to the top as well. And then I want that. I don't know if I want it that way or straight. I'm going to do that one straight. Just got to make sure I've got the angle right. Is that straight? Yeah. And that's about straight. Can't see it getting any straighter than that. And then exactly the same with these. I'm going to apply some into the crevices. Just try and not do too much. It's finding that balance, isn't there? Or rather, isn't it? So that one's going to go round about there. And the same with this one. Hello Harry, got a little visitor. It's about there. Right, I think that's about straight. So they'll go back in the oven for a second bake. Okay, so that's them done. Then we have the stones. Okay, so now it's done. That one falls out really easily. It's quite dark at the bottom, isn't it? I'm never sure which way these are supposed to go. I'm sure it's got to be that way. This here, yes, it's a little bugger to get out, but it's not that bad. Once you get it going, just ease it out. And then I always find pushing like that gets air in and makes it easier to come out. Says me. Okay. Oh, I'm really pleased with that one. Oh, that's lovely. Look at the bottom. Oh, I really like that. Okay, so for both of these I'm going to do a similar thing again to what I did with the one yesterday. Now, I don't like all these pieces that have loads of twists and twirls and bobs all on them. I like it to keep it basic, so you can have a subtle pattern. So for this one I'm going to do what I did yesterday. No, actually I might do that with this one. It's going to be the easier of the two. So I've rolled this out on a number 4. I won't bother doing that yet, there's no point. And I'm just going to wrap it around the piece. Actually, before I do, I'm going to put a little bobble on the top just to give it some, keep mindful all the time of which side is the front. Okay, so I'm just giving a bit more height at the top. And then I'm just going to wrap some around, which I may have to cut out, we'll see as you go. It's a sort of as you work thing, doing it this way. You can't, there's no sort of hard and fast rules. So I'm applying pressure to make sure it's holding on properly. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I love the effect of this. I think it's really nice, and I can work the back and the sides together and press down on the top. And then when I take it off, it's got a nice leather effect, but that's too thick there at the moment, so I'm going to take some off. This is how I do it. So I'm taking off as much as I can to display as much as I can of the full stone. So I'm just going to use that again and press down on and push it in and down, because I want it to have a real natural organic look. Okay, so I've got a pattern from the, that needs rounding a bit. Then the next one I'm going to do, bear with me, I thought I had a mountain ready. Oh yeah, I have. Okay, I'm going to get, do I want that size? No, I'll go size smaller. I've got a copper bronze coloured stone, so I'm just going to, I might have to play with this a little bit more, but I'm going to push down there with the knife. Yeah, that's not, as you see, as I push, that's the only thickness that's got to hold on to, so that needs to go a little bit higher. This is what I mean when I say sort of working as you go with this. And I don't want to go so high that it's not holding on to enough stone, so just trying to find the right balance. Okay, so again, this is why this lace is so good, because it's the easiest thing. It shapes. I'm going to do the other one with a texture, but it's not quite as easy. Okay, now make sure I've got the front showing. Yeah, I'm going to push down again. Ooh. I'm not going to take it off like that, like I just did. I'm going to push down there. Still not enough. I might do it at the back actually, because you can do this. Let me shape it round, and then I'm going to slip it into the back so it goes in deeper, because that rock's got like a pointy angle which I think is holding it back. Now always make sure that you've got on your jump ring, wherever the break is, make sure that's the bit that's going into the clay, so you have less problems later. Okay, so again I'm just going to straighten that first, and then I'll give it hopefully its final press. A bit at the top. There we go, I'm just going to push that in at the back a bit. There we go. So I'm quite happy for that to go in the oven as soon as I covered it. So that's ready for covering. And now with this one I'm going to do similar, but I'm going to use a texture sheet. I'm not sure what one yet. Because you don't want everything exactly the same. So I'm just going to roll this through on a number 4 again. I'm going to go offline just to get a texture sheet and I'll be back. Right, I'm back. Exactly the same process at this point, and find what you feel is the nicest part to have that you want showing at the front. Ooh, I'm sport for choice here. Every single one's nice. That's a good front. I'm going to use there. So I'll just be mindful that the crease goes at the back. So I'll pull that off. This time I'm just going to roll that down. Add another bit. At this point you can add like this because nothing's been formed yet. So I'll just add that there. Remove those hairs. And I'm just going to round that off there so I know I've got enough at the top. Now what you can do, and I've done a few times, is you can just drill through and then put a wire through and a hook each side if you don't do wire wrapping. You know, it's totally up to you how you want to finish it off, but there are a lot of options. I'm just doing this because this is probably the easiest option because not everybody does wire wrapping. I've done a few, but only the simple things. I'm not great at it at all. I'm still very much a learner. Right, I'm going to see how... Actually, no, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to see how this pattern looks. Oh, that's nice. Gives a nice form. I didn't want it sideways. So again, I'm flattening it down to the disc. I don't like a bulky top with this. And then I'm going to get another one of these. I think I'll use the wider one for this. And let's see how much playroom we've got. Right, where's my front? Oh no, I can't tell by the top. I'm going to have to... Sorry, I think it matters to get it right. I'm going to use that. Right. So this could go down a very long way or not too far at all. Right, okay, I can cut off a little bit of this. I can tell straight away. Then I'm going to add this into the... Right, so where's the break? Put the break down first. Then I'm going to marry that together best I can. And then go back over. Hope it'll work quite easily with this texture. Sorry, you can hear my telly, can't you? I'm just going to go and shut the door. Oh. Okay, so I just want to make sure that from the front I'm happy with that. And check the back and sides. Make sure everything's... most of all, make sure that's straight. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to, again, get this bronze mica powder, and I am applying it with my finger. I'm going right down as far as I can to the stone first. Okay, I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. Just trying to get right down into those edges. Okay, so that's that done. So they're all going to go into the oven now. Now, I don't know whether to do this online or not. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm going to do and then I'll continue it offline, because otherwise it's going to end up being a really long video again. So, I don't know if I'm going to have enough there. I'm probably going to have to make up a little bit more. Sorry, block. What a waste, eh? Actually, no, I'll leave that big one and I'll use this little one. Take it off that end. Just so I've got a little bit more. Just looking to see if I've got any spare anywhere. Normally I've got too much back in. No, I don't have enough. But that's the good thing about this. You're actually using all the scrap for the back in, and I think that's really good. You're not left with a load of stuff. Right, so I'm going to do the back in. I don't know whether to do a 2 or 3, but it's certainly not going to be a 2, it's not enough. Let me try a 3. See how big this is in comparison. But again, I'm going to move these. I'm going to do this on the tray. If it's too fiddly, I'll just do it off screen, as long as you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to check if it's big enough. Need it a little bit wider. Right, what am I going to use for a pattern for ease of use? Just for ease of use, I'm going to use lace again. I need a wider piece. Where are you? I'm in one of those stages where I've got a bit of chaos going on around me at the moment. I've got too much stuff out. Right, this in theory this is going to be amazing, but obviously, as you know, in practice it often isn't. So I'll have one go online. If I mess up, I'll do it offline. Oh, actually, saying that, putting that on there has just made me see that as much as I think I've edged that, there seems to be a very fine line there, ridge. Hopefully that's the only one. Okay, so need to make sure there's a couple of mil in every direction. Right, what I'm going to try and do is embed that, and then I'm going to try and manually cut about 2 mils around all the way. And if it doesn't go straight, I should be starting again. Because I don't have a bigger cutter, so this I thought might set it off nicely. Bad enough trying to do it when you're not being watched. But it's going to go one way or the other. I will do it. But because you're using nothing more than your eye, you've got to be really careful. And I've also got to be careful not to forget that I could squash the things around me. I think I'll be able to see if I can move these. Mates. Same there. Anyway, you get the gist of it. I'll finish it off screen, and then these will go into the oven. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Hi, so the pieces are all out, and every single one of them I've put a back on. So it's just a simple back. And other than that, I did it on a number 6, and I just used texture to give it something. So they've all had that done, except for these obviously. So with these, I'm just going to show you quickly, it's so simple. I'm just going to resin them, I'm just going to varnish them. Start down there with that. I love this, I'm so pleased with it. There's only one regret, I didn't put a little diamond in, because I've put a little diamond in another one and it looks really lovely. I'll show you in a minute. But these little moulds I think are really great. I've only got the one and I've got to get another one, because I often have to do a bit of waiting to use it again. Just go over them all again. I'm using Fimo Varnish. I really like this because whereas if I use like a household varnish or whatever, you still get brush marks. With this you don't. For some reason the brush works amazing and it blends together. So I'm just going to leave that to dry, and then I'll move on to the resin, just in case anyone does need showing. I'll show you how I do it. So I can put them on a nice block. I'm going to put it on my stinky block because I absolutely love this little block, it's perfect. So I'm only going to show you this one being resin, but I've got a few more to resin. I'm so pleased with this, look. That's come out really well, just cutting it. I've still got to sand it, etc., but I think my favourites are that, and I love the way the stone turned out in this. So anyway, I'll show you them all after I've made a few strange things. So I'll show you this one online just for anyone that needs reminding or showing. So you take it from the middle to the edge. The less you disturb it, the better, but I mean this is a simple one to do because it says me, it'll probably go over the edge now, but some of them can be a bit tricky, especially if they're domed. Check it's all covered. So that's that one. I won't do that one. Got these to do as well. I know I didn't actually make them recording, but they're the same batch, so I'm going to do these as well. So when I've resined everything, I'll be back. I'm just going to put some findings on because they're all going to have simple findings. There's no need to go through all that. So I'll see you when they're completed. Hi. So everything's now ready to go on chains or cords, and a few of them I've already done. Now they're what I did last night straight after doing the block, so I just want to show you how much stuff I've actually managed to get from it, and I haven't finished yet. So I did 2 more of these earrings that we did tonight, so I could show you. I also made these off camera and resin them. So you can see them. I'm going to show you because they give you a good idea of how it turned out. I also made a couple more. I redid these pendants, didn't I? Yeah. Only I did these flat. They're actually cabochons. They're flat. So that's those 2. Then I absolutely love this. It's just so turned out absolutely you know, the way you want to keep looking at something, it really has worked out well, even right down to the bottom, pinching it in. Look, it's like a little flower. So I'm really pleased with that. Hope you can see it clearly. Then, where is it gone? Is it that one? No, there's another one. Oh yeah. Then I did a couple more, and this one I put a stone in, which I think looks really nice. I don't know if you can see, it all clearly. Okay, so that's that. Then I made a few more things. I did a sort of a funny old heart thing off centre. Oops, so that's another one. Then I thought I might as well make what do you call them? You keep spinning them. A spinner necklace, I suppose you'd call it. I did a blended macrame from Clay Boutique's method. I haven't finished that yet. I did a yin yang, which I still haven't finished. But what I did was, with a tiny little bit that was left, I did a really quick makumigane, and that's how I did those. Just a really small, quick one. And then I also did this, which I really like, and I don't know why, but I do. Sort of got a frayed edge down the bottom, if you can see that. Like the white paper. Yeah, so it's got like a frayed edge, and I did a bit of scroll writing across. So that's another one. And then my last, and probably my favourite of all, is this. I absolutely love it. It's come out really well. And as you know, I just sort of freehand cut around the actual cross. But I really like this. I don't even think this one's going to get sold. So yeah, so that's what I've done so far. I've still got quite a few bits left to do, but considering that wasn't a very big block at all, I'm really chuffed. So this is just to inspire you. I'm only showing you because there is a lot more you can do with it than just put it on, you know, something plain. So there's just some ideas. I hope I've inspired you. Anyway, thank you for watching.